Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And today we're gonna be talking about the Lenovo XClarity Administrator. I installed this quite a few videos ago and never got back to it. It was more or less because I was getting the new server, the awesome Lenovo SR650, and I wanted to install that with this Lenovo XClarity Administrator. So today we're gonna start that up, but first I want to go over, well, what this XClarity Administrator really is and does, but it's really not that difficult, but it can be a little bit well, it's probably way easier if I just explain what it is. So, and then we will go to the computer and we'll see it and we will do some stuff. I need to import my servers and we could do that. It looks crooked, it's not, but the camera angle, well, never mind. Lenovo XClarity, Lenovo XClarity Administrator. This is a piece of software. We installed it in an earlier video. It runs as an appliance box on a virtual machine, and you can go back and see that installation. It was mostly next finish. It wasn't difficult at all. So what does it do? Well, there's kind of 5 boxes in it that it does. It manages your inventory and asset management. It delivers info on your stuff, on your Lenovo servers, the newer Lenovo servers. This works from the awesome Lenovo X3650 Model 5 and forward. That's the model number that I have, that I know about. You get a single place where you can see all your Lenovo servers. You can do different stuff. You can turn them on and off. You get serial numbers. You can see, yeah, we'll get to that. Monitoring, you can see if they're good, if they are behaving as they should. If they're not, they can give you an alert. Something is wrong here. If it's really wrong, they can call home and tell Daddy Lenovo that I'm hurt, I need assistance. And yeah, then there is a phone number and you get to communicate with them and they will send a technician. So monitoring, alerts and call home is some of the features in this package. Then there is firmware. In the XClarity Administrator, it will download firmware packages as bundles, and you can choose which firmware you want to put on a server. Normally you would just pick the latest and greatest, but it's really easy. You just download all the firmware for one server and apply it, and you can have it just firmware update the server, and it's rather painless. It takes a while, but it's painless. Patterns, they call it. I call it BIOS settings. What it really does is that you can import BIOS settings from a server, and then you can apply that to another server, and you can go into it. Well, they are then saved as a pattern, and you can go in and you can edit that, and you can apply it to all the servers again. So if you want to change it from hyperthreading to not be using hyperthreading, well, you switch that over and puff, all your servers are now not running hyperthreading. They need to reboot, but well, you get it. Then you can also deploy your operating system or hypervisors or whatever the thing you want to put on your server, as long as it's a standard and ISO file that Lenovo Administrator can load. Well, you can deploy that from inside, and you can put that ISO file onto your Lenovo Administrator, and it can be there. If you want to do a really custom one, you can customize it and put it up there, and yeah, you can do a lot of stuff there. So that's the 5 main things of this. So before we go to the computer, I actually have to power on my brand new awesome Lenovo SR650. It has been hanging here for a while, and today we're gonna power it on. So I'm gonna go behind the back and we're gonna put a few cables onto it. Around the back I have connected a dock cable to one of the 10 gigabit Ethernet ports, and it goes up here to my 10 gigabits Ethernet switch, the Unify switch 16XG. and it goes into port number 10 here. I need to configure that at some point, but it also has, and for this video we're probably mostly going to be using this management connection here that goes into the regular switch. It's down here. I have no idea what port that goes into, but as it is already marked red, I know that it's a management port. And we have screen, we have USB. I have connected one power connector, one with a contact on it, which is right now off. So I thought that we would just together plug in the next cable here, and that has no plug, so the server will turn on immediately when we do that. So power on, and turn that on as well. So first power on new server. Just wanted to share that. And it's making a little bit of noise here. Cool. So we made our way into the computer, and we see that we have absolutely nothing in our Lenovo XClarity Administrator, which is why I'm going to be complaining first about why is it using 3.03 gigabytes of my memory on doing absolutely nothing. There is nothing in it. Someone should optimize that. I installed this, that was a little bit ago, and since then an update has arrived. So if we go into the administrator here and we pick update management server, we can see down here I am on version 2.50. There is a 2.51 available here, but if we refresh repository, press that one, it will do that. It will take a little bit. There we are. We can now see, well, I said that I was on version 2.5.0. There is a 2.5.1 available and a 2.5.6 available, and the latest and the greatest, a 2.6.1 available. This is rather new. It's from this month. We want to upgrade this. We don't want to get stuck too far behind, and this is really easy, so we don't have to do much. All the other ones are storage and switches and think system, and yeah, we probably have to get this think system one. So what we do, we download the one that we want, and if we go on to the latest and the greatest here, let's mark that and check the check notes here. We can kind of read some of the stuff that we need here, and there's a change log, and they have had some issues that they have fixed since the 6.0, so that's good. We could check if we need to be aware of anything special here. Okay, so we are just gonna pick the latest and the greatest, and we're gonna download that. I'm gonna pick that think system as well, this one, because I have those servers and I need to be able to firmware update those. Check that as well. For example, we can see that the SR650 is right there, so that's important, which means that, well, that's the think system servers, and I do also have the X3650 model 5, so we actually need one more. We need the system X7 here. Let's check if that isn't what we... Yeah, we need to download that as well. That's where we get those. So we mark that as well. That one. Can we only take one at a time? Really? So we will start with the update one, and we will download that one. So let's all action, download selected. Then let's take the next one. We needed that one. Action, download selected, and we needed that one. Action, download selected. There. So downloading that one, and very soon that one as well. So the update for the administrator is tiny compared to these driver and firmware updates. So this was rather quickly done. These two takes a bit longer. So I don't want to start updating it before I have downloaded these. Don't know what could happen. No reason to mess that up. But while we're waiting for the download, we could go check our servers. I haven't, as you can see here on the dashboard, there is nothing on this. So under hardware here, we can discover and manage new devices. And I do have some new devices that want to pop in here. I have, this one is the Lenovo X3650 Model 4. This one up here is the Lenovo X3550 Model 4. And then this one is the Lenovo X36 Model 5. So it doesn't see the SR650. Maybe we should try and refresh this. That did absolutely nothing for us. It hasn't discovered that yet. We could import one of the other ones. The Model 4 of the servers, they are not fully compatible with the XClarity Administrator. You can kind of inventory them and you can kind of monitor them a little bit, but all the fancy features with the firmware and the patterns and the operating systems, well, that's not available. Let's try the X3550 Model 4 and import that. So we can manage that. Manage selected. This is what it looks like when you want to bring it into the administrator. Use stored credentials. The XClarity Administrator logs into the IMM, the management card on the server. You can use stored credentials or you can manually put them in. I don't think I have any stored credentials right now, so it's probably not gonna be able to do that, but we could go in and we can manage our storage credentials. Right now there is nothing, so let's try and manage that. And we're gonna put in the standard one. Create new. That would be, the username would be user ID. That's standard IBM/Lenovo start1, and password with a 0 instead of the O. There. And let's call it standard. Store credentials. Success. Okay, close that. So now we have some stored credentials. So we can use stored credentials and we can go and we can pick user ID standard. Group. Oh, we have a lot of different, you can have different kind of users in here and you can give them different kinds of tasks that they can perform. We are just gonna go with the default. Thank you very much. Then we can force management even if the system is being managed by another system. It's not, so we're not gonna do that. So manage that, and it's gonna connect to my server out there, and it's gonna bring all the information over. And I am very curious to see how that looks on a Model 4. There, view all servers. Sure. All our servers. Awesome. System X3550 Model 4. And it actually also found a name for it. Cool. Pending untrusted. So we don't trust it. Let's go back. And now we have one server and it's, well, pending down here. Okay, I was actually searching for how to make that a trusted server, and then it fixed itself. Apparently I was too quick and it needed to exchange certificates or something, so it that thing disappeared and it went up and became a green one. So now we can go in and it's status normal, which is what you want. We can press it, click it, and we get a lot of additional information about this awesome Lenovo server, including that it has two 8-core CPUs. Does it really? I forgot about that. What CPUs are those? We might just be asking ourselves, so we could go in and we could ask. Oh, we have two E5 2670s in there. Awesome. So there is different information. We can see the firmware here, probably outdated, I don't know, but we can't do anything with the firmware for this system. It's too old and it's not in the XClarity Administrator. Sadly, it would have been nice if Lenovo had included some older servers when they made this, even if it took longer. They did include some of the Model 4s so that you could actually get them in here and you can see stuff. We can see action here. We can power on and off the server if we want to power it on. You can't access the remote console. Inventory service. Security. I thought that was what we were going to be fixing it with, but well, it fixed itself before I got to it. Groups, we can add it to a group. Let's add the next server as well. Hardware, discover and manage new devices. Oh, now we suddenly have 4. So it must have found the new server. That must be that one. Yeah, Lenovo has changed the standard for how they pop up. So now this is an 7x06 and then this long one instead of the old IBM standard. So, but let's take one at a time. The next one that we need to care about is this one. It's the X3650 Model 4. Manage that one, and I have the standard credentials. I really shouldn't, but I do. So manage that. That is done. Just look at the fire behind me now. It's so nice. View all the servers. Now there should be 2. One of them is actually on. That's because that's my, at the moment, that's my everyday server. I haven't gotten any further than to use the M4. So we have that, it's on. Can we do a remote? Do a remote console to that either. So that must be because it's too old as well. I could have done that, that would have been neat. Next, that should be, we should import the M5, the other one. We can, SR650 popped up. If it hadn't popped up, I could go up to manual input here and I can input a single IP number here. I could put in the IP number of the IMM on that one and I would be able to get to the same point and do the same thing. We could put in multiple systems, so we could have a whole range of IP numbers that we could put in and it will go through all of them. Also, bulk, more or less just import from an Excel spreadsheet. There are more options on that, but we are just gonna go manually select. Oh, and we get more possibilities here. This is a server that can do more stuff. Okay, but we let's use the stored credentials again. The standard, I'm sure I haven't changed that. Should, I haven't. Yeah, I could improve security here and have it create a recovery account and disable the local users. That would be a great idea. So the default would be disabled and it would create one with some really nasty random passwords, I'm sure. Let's not do that, but that would be an improvement. And we can again force management, even if it's being managed by another instance of XClarity Administrator. A few more options, not a whole lot. So we are gonna put the M5 in there as well. In a little bit we will have 3 servers available. It's starting to look good in my little home XClarity Administrator here. I was so happy when I got that first M4 server that now I could finally use XClarity, and then it wasn't compatible. That was a bummer. I should have used this with the M5, but I really never got to it. This is taking longer. I'm not sure why. It's probably doing more stuff on this server that is actually compatible. Most of the features in the XClarity Administrator. I think I heard that there is some stuff that it can't do, but the SR650 should be fully compatible. Okay, that completed. Let's see, now there should be 3 servers, and there is, although this one is pending. Maybe that takes longer because it's doing more stuff. Let's do the last server. Now we are at it. That one, manage, looks like the M5. So we're gonna hope that they haven't changed anything. We haven't been on this at all. Yeah, we're just gonna do that and see what we get. So this is kind of what you would do with if you had a lot of these servers and you were getting a new one. So put it on the network and discover it with XClarity Administrator, and well, it will pop up into the administrator here. XCC, which is the new name for the management adapter out there. I'm not a big fan of this changing names all the time. it will go for a DHCP IP number. So it will pop up if it's in the right VLANs and stuff. This is faster, so maybe the XCC is faster, or it's more... Oh, it's done. That was quick. Now this one is pending. This one has fixed itself. Awesome. We're just gonna wait a little bit for this to be correct. We need to go see how our download is going over here. And that one is downloaded. These are also downloaded, so we can proceed. All the other stuff, I don't think I need that. This was previous version. This is if I have switches. I do not have any Lenovo switches. Storage, I do not have any Lenovo storage devices. I do have Think server, that's the SR650, and I do have System X servers from the IBM time. And the rest down here is just stuff that, yeah, it goes way back. Look at that. We can go all the way back to 2015 and get kind of the first repository pack if we need that. Then we have, oh, the Flex system as well. Yeah, this goes way back. But now we have the newest stuff. Only need to download the stuff that we need. You don't want to download everything. Just want the packages that we need. There is a limited amount of space on here, so don't overdo it. Let's update this. Let's press that one and we can perform an update. So we'll do that, and it will actually tell us that XClarity Administrator will complete an update. And let's just check if our servers are good. It's still pending, that one, so we might just wait a little bit. Okay, that took a little bit, but now all the servers are good. We go into the dashboard. I have 4 servers. They are all normal, and that's the view that I get here. So now we can go on with our update. So we go into administration and down here to update management server. And we still have our downloaded stuff, so we can now pick this one and we can perform update, and it tells us that the XClarity Administrator will reboot and we will lose contact. But very important to note, this will not affect any of the servers whatsoever, ever so slightly. If this is a production environment, you can do this and it will have zero impact on all the managed servers that you are messing with. Of course, if the server reports in an error in this time that this is updating, and that error will pop up afterwards. Update in progress, and we lose connection. It will pop up when it's ready for us again. Okay, I have downloaded 2.5.1 that I'm gonna try and update with instead. If we go up here to jobs, we can see that the update manager server, well, that's a big fat "we didn't do that for you" sign. So let's check that. Update stop with error. So if we go into that, we can see that it did this, and it doesn't really explain why. The package could not be applied, return code 100. Yeah, that is ever so doubtful helpful. So we're gonna try the other one and go step by step. I have downloaded 2.5.1, so we're gonna try and select that. We're gonna try and apply that update instead. So yeah, see, yeah, this is what we like. See the 2.5.1, awesome, that worked. So we'll go do the same thing with the next version. And now we are on 2.5.6, and I'm gonna, well, try and see if I can put 2.6 on there now. I have just downloaded 2.6.0. Now I've made everything a little bit smaller. I could probably have seen out here that the 2.6.1 is only a fraction of the 2.6. So most likely it's because I need to put this one on first. So I could probably just have jumped from 2.5 and to 2.6 there, and then put 2.61 on top of that. That would probably have been the way to go. Okay, we are on 2.6.0. Okay, I seem to have messed up here, or I might have found a bug, because I tried to update my XClarity Administrator to 6.6.1 first, and that update up here, and that didn't work, and I got an error on the job. Then you can kind of see I can't update it, and also down here perform update just gone. If I do something else, if I just check that one, or maybe something that is downloaded, well, I get an update button and I can perform update, and that has disappeared for this one. So somehow the system thinks that I can't apply that again, probably because it thinks I already have applied it, but as it failed, it wasn't applied. So I'm probably gonna skip that one, because yeah, it ain't working. But I have downloaded those two firmware packages down there, so I should be able to firmware update my servers, the two servers that I can update my firmware on. So we are gonna go and we're not gonna firmware update the servers in this video, but we're gonna import the firmware into the system. The firmware is applied in here. There is a repository for the firmware there, and there's nothing in them. There's 0 and 0, nothing downloaded. And when we go over here under Update Manager, and we take that one, mark that one, and we update, start update, and we take the other one that we have downloaded and we update that as well. Start updating, and it shows us the progress out here. So that one went into queue. This one is probably gonna be the one doing stuff. So now these two firmware packages, each of these contains firmware for a lot of servers, generation of servers. There's the System X servers and there's the Think servers. But if we go over here and into repository, we should now see that we have a lot of available updates right there. So we are ready to update our servers. We haven't applied any policies. That's what they call it for the firmware. You have to apply a policy. We haven't made any of those, but I'm gonna save that for a video where we actually do the upgrade. It takes some time to upgrade the servers, and this video is probably becoming too long already. So to go back to our Blackboard, is it called that? We have the inventory part. We have already looked at that. We have the monitoring and alert part. Well, it monitors the system. If something is wrong with the server, that will turn up. The call home function. I actually need to upgrade my XClarity Administrator to a Pro version for that to be allowed, or yeah, we need to do that. We just messed with the firmware, the patterns, BIOS settings. Well, it's actually a little bit more than just the BIOS settings. It's also storage settings and network settings, and we're gonna go into that in another video, but we could just see where that's at. Patterns is also right in here. You go in here and configure the server patterns, and you create a new patterns. And what it does is that you can pick the server that you want to copy the patterns down from. You can start from scratch. That is not recommended. There is a lot of settings in a pattern in these patterns. But you take a server and you import the settings from that server. Kind of makes a golden template of a server. Then you make all your changes, and you can then apply that pattern back to the server, and that includes, or you can kind of see it up here, there's local storage, there's IO adapters, boot, firmware settings, so different stuff that you can do there. We also have the OS hypervisor deployment. That is also up here. Their deployment of OS, management of images. So that would be the first thing that we have to do. We have to upload an image, we have to deal with drivers, boot files, software unattended files, configuration. You can do a bunch of stuff here, automate your system so that you don't have to work as hard anymore. Everybody wants that, right? I guess there's more videos to come. We got a little bit further today. We updated our XClarity Administrator. We imported the servers into it, all 4 servers, even though only 2 of them will actually be able to do very much with those servers. And we found out that we have a lot more work in front of us. Lenovo XClarity Administrator is really for the business side. If you're just messing with this at home, have a home server, and it's this new, well, you might be watching this video in 5 years or so, and at that point, well, you might as well go buy a server like this. Right now they're kind of expensive to have as a home server. I only kind of have them so that I can make these videos, but for the professional administrator that don't want to hand install every server and put every single piece of firmware on by hand, well, this is a great tool and it will save you a lot of headaches, because you can just download a firmware package and you can say that put it on that server, and the server will put it on. It will boot multiple times, and then at some point it will say I'm done. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have an awesome day. I don't usually say that, do I? Have a very nice day. Bye bye.